Okay. So markup is applied on the cost, as you said, it's correct. And margin is applied on the sales price. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you know how to calculate markup and margin?
Yeah, there were two formulas. I think I forgot.
And how to convert this? Do you know this? How to convert markup into margin? If there is markup given and you don't have the cost with you.
So I think you put it in the opposite form. You minus the percentage by 100, I
I'll
think,
tell you.
and then you put it on the denominator.
I'll tell you in the class, because these formats which are given by the book, they are very much difficult.
Yeah.
According to me, I did not remember this as a student, because they are very much difficult in order to convert. I'll tell you a simple format.
Yeah.
But so far we'll proceed with commonly used accounting ratios. Gross profit as a percentage of sales. What does it tell you? What does it tell you that if gross profit, if your sales is this percentage, sorry, if your gross profit is this percentage of your sale, what does it provide to us?
The gross profit exactly.
If I'm telling you, let's suppose you have 20 out of the 80.
Okay.
What is this telling you?
That I have this much out of the total.
Very good answer.
Yeah.
So the same your gross profit is telling you your in comparison to your sales.
Okay.
A good answer, when you will be forming your answer, a good answer will be like this. Proportion of sales which is converted into your gross profit. Let's suppose you got 50,000 rupees in your pockets. Every month this happens. We all are salaried persons, our parents and everyone, they are salaried persons. Every month this happens. If they are earning $50,000, let's suppose, so they try their level best to make the most of their savings, to make the most of the amount to be saved rather than being spent. They try their level best every time, and every time we all fail. This is the fact, a bitter fact. Okay.
Yeah.
This gross profit is out of the sales. So after deducting the cost of sales from sales, we get the gross profit. So how much successful we were in converting our sales into gross profit? This is the answer for this.
Right.
Okay. If it is coming 10%, it's okay. If it is coming 15%, it's okay. What do you suggest? Would it be higher? Would it be lower?
Lower. 10-15% is quite low, right?
Yes, it's lower, but it should be lower.
Yeah. No, it should be higher.
It should be higher. Why? Because if we are more,
because that is the profit.
If we are best at converting our cost into converting our sales into gross profit quickly in a better manner, so it's good for the business. Okay. So what we do, we try level best that our gross profit should be higher. If a company's gross profit is decreasing, let's suppose last year it got 25% and it got 20% in this year. So what is happening? Our sales are what I can say, our gross profit margin is deteriorating, is worsening.
Yeah.
Okay. And why it would be worsening? Can you have the reasons for this?
Maybe one would be nobody is purchasing from their business, or tougher competition, or no demand, or
okay, remember
all those factors.
All your answers are good. All your answers are great. But if I ask about accounting answers, so the accounting answers would be opening inventory and purchases. They both items, they contribute to the increase in the cost of sales.
Right.
I'm repeating again. Opening inventory and purchases, they both are contributing to the increase in cost of sales. So, sir, what about closing?
Yeah.
Closing inventory helps in decreasing the cost of sales. This is a fixed rule in every scenario.
Okay.
Now let's see this. If we have the opening inventory of 500 and 6,000 is the purchases. 6,500 minus 900, we got 5,600 as cost of sales, and we got 1,400. 1,400 divided by 7,000, it means 20%. 20% of the that is 7,000 into 20% will be 1,400. That is the cost. Now you observe this thing, your opening inventory is increasing from 500 to 900. Your purchases is also increasing from 6,000 to 7,200. So overall your cost, overall your total 8,100. Your closing inventory is also increasing, but only by 200. So you deduct got the total of 7,000 as cost of sales, 8,000 minus 7,000, it will give you 1,000 as gross profit. 1,000 divided by 8,000. In this, your sales is also increasing by 1,000.
Right.
1,000 divided by 8,000. Now your gross profit margin decreased. It became 12.5% because of two reasons. What are the reasons? One, your sales have increased because the total proportion has increased. One reason for this. Another reason for this is that your opening inventory and purchases both increased by a larger proportion if compared with closing inventory, because closing inventory was also increasing, but only by $200.
Yeah.
Let's take another example. If your closing inventory increase was more than the increase in both of these items, do you think the answer would be higher?
Yeah, it would be higher.
Okay. Why? Because closing inventory helps in reducing the cost of sales.
Got it.
I hope you are now able to give a better comment in your ratios if questions are there in your answers, because these type of elements which are being assessed, which are being examined, this can be done by only those students who are good at accounting.
Yeah.
Now coming to the general reasons. 7,000 to 8,000. Maybe you could write this down in a generic form. The sales of the company might have increased. You could have write it down like this if you don't know the values. The cost of sales of the company would have increased. Because of this, your gross profit has decreased. Okay. Maybe your closing inventory decreased by a larger proportion. This can also be reason.
Yeah.
Okay. There are a lot of reasons. You can make your own reasons in that. There is no need to remember, no need to learn any reasons at all. If you learn the concept of making reasons, making concepts, you don't have to remember anything. You have to write it on your own. Okay.
Yeah.
What is inventory turnover? The number of times your inventory is turned in the finished good.
Okay.
Okay. Your inventory is coming into your business. It can be opening inventory. It can be closing inventory. It can be purchases. Some amount of goods are coming into your business every year. If your inventory turnover is lower amount, it is always times per year. Okay, the answer is always in times per year. If your answer is a lower answer, what do you think the business doing good or doing bad?
I think doing good.
The number of times your inventory is converted into your finished product. This is the concept.
Okay, so then they should have it higher, right?
We should have it higher, very. So if it is lower, so what happens? It means that our inventory is coming, but our production is not that much efficient. Okay, this can be because our workers are not making it good. There can be a lot of reasons in that.
Yeah.
Number of times inventory is turned over within a period as it is written. The formula is cost of goods sold. You will get it from the income statement. Very easy. Okay. And how do you get the average? Do you remember this? How do you get the average of anything?
By adding it and dividing it by the number of times, like the number of inventory.
If there are 5 homes and every home is getting a bill of 15,000. So 15,000 plus 15,000, 5 divided by 5. All the 15,000 will be added and it will be divided by 5. So the answer will be 15,000. Okay.
Yeah.
Mean means average means the mean, and mean means the on an average. Let's suppose on an average, if you are studying for 1 hour in a day, you are studying for 2 hours in a day. If you are studying for half an hour, if you add these 3 and divide it by 3, So you will get an average amount of studying, that how much time you spend in a day on an average studying.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we can add all of this and we can divide. But in this case of average inventory, how many types of inventory do we have in our income statement?
You have opening inventory, closing inventory, right?
So we add both of these and we divide it by
The number of times.
number of times. What can be the number of times?
As in any number of times, how many ever number of times?
There are two items at the top in the numerator. So
okay, so we divide it
depend
by
on the number of times depend on the numerator. If there are 2 items, divided by 2. If there are 3 items, divided by 3. If there are 5 items, divided by 5. Okay.
Right.
So this is how the formula is derived. Okay. So in your average inventory, you will always divide it by 2.
Yeah.
What is the reason for this?
Because there are only 2 inventories in the income statement.
Yes, there are 2 inventories in the income statement and there are 2 items in the numerator. That's it. Now I hope you are getting clear on the calculation part 2, that why the formula is like this. Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
So if you want to express it in months, so what you do, you multiply it by 12. Okay.
Okay.
8 times multiply by 12 divided by multiply by months. If you wanted to express it into the months, and if you want to express it into the days, so what you do, you divide it, and you divide it into months if you want to express it into months. Okay.
Okay.
1 upon 12, 8 into 1 upon 12 means divided by 12, so you will get it in the months.
Yeah.
Current ratio. What is current ratio? Have you studied this before?
No, I haven't studied this whole topic before.
Remember one thing, that there is something called liquidity of the firm. Okay. The liquidity.
Isn't it the cash?
Sorry?
Isn't the liquid known as cash?
Yes.
Like
the liquidity is somehow related to the cash, or in other words, the short term. This is the real meaning of books. Whether you study business studies, whether you study accounting, whether it comes in your economics. Sometimes economics also refers to the concept of liquidity. Okay.
Yeah.
So liquidity, wherever you study, you will study these words: the short-term ability of a business to meet its debts, to meet its debts. That means the obligations on us, we have to pay.
Yeah.
So the short-term ability means the cash which is there with us should be so much so that we can fulfill our short-term expenses, short-term debts. Let's suppose I have to give 15,000 to someone. So I can pay 15,000 to someone within 1 month. This should be our liquidity. If we are not liquid enough, so what will happen? We cannot continue with our business.
Right.
Okay. So I guess I'm explaining it on the board without the help of a pen. Let's see if I can do that. So it would be great. Your answer is 1 is equal to 1. Okay, this is your current ratio.
Yeah.
This is your current ratio. It means $1 of asset is equal to $1 of what is your assets?
Liability?
Yes, $1 of liabilities. I hope you are getting the writing.
Yeah.
It's very much difficult to write. Okay, so $1 of asset is equal to $1 of liability. If you have the $1 of liability with you, you should at least have $1 of asset. Otherwise, what will happen? Your business is not liquid enough. but there is a this. The formula for this is, because we discussed everything other than the formula, current asset divided by current liability. So this liability would be current liability. Okay, because the denominator is current liability.
Right.
CR is equal to CA divided by CL. CA includes every item which is given in the balance sheet.
The total of current assets.
Yes, the total of current assets, whatever items are there. CL means the total of current liabilities. Many of the times it's only the accounts payable, but sometimes there will be payables too. Okay,
payables.
So that.
Yeah.
Okay. If you are getting an answer of 1, there is a problem in this. What's the problem? The problem is NV.
Inventory.
Yes, this is the problem. Now, what is the problem? Let me discuss that. The problem is, do you think you can sell your inventory overnight?
No, you cannot.
We cannot. There's a limitation. Do you think you can
Yes.
convert your cash, your accounts receivable into cash overnight?
No, that also takes time.
Do you think you can convert your cash into bank, into your cash in your hand overnight?
Yeah, as long as it's yours, you can, right?
Very good answer. Cash in bank can be converted into cash in hand. And do you think that cash in hand needs to be converted?
No.
Not at all, because it's the cash in hand. If we have something in our pockets, so don't we need to convert it into anything? Cash in hand readily available. Yeah. Cash in bank, it's also readily available. If we go overnight, we can take it out from the bank if it is ours. And if it is any other person, so it's not the case. It's not legal. We cannot take it out from other person's account. Okay.
Yeah.
So things are clear, but there are two problems. Accounts receivable, the customers will not pay me overnight. That's the lowest problem. That's the second number problem. The first number problem is that we cannot sell inventory overnight.
Yeah.
So the current ratio, which is good, which is considered better in terms of answer, is 1.5.
Right.
In ideal, it should be 1:1 because $1 of asset should be equal to $1 of liability. But as you can see that the inventory and your current assets both cannot, and your inventory and your accounts receivable cannot be converted into cash overnight. So what you have to do, you have to maintain it till 1.5:1. 1.5 is 1. If your answer is 1.5:1, it's good. It's okay. There's no problem at all. If your answer is 2, what do you think? It's good or it's bad? 2:1. If your answer is this,
you basically have to ask $2 of assets for one liability.
Is it good? Is it good? You're correctly explain whatever you explain, that's good. But is it good for the business?
Yeah, if they have more assets for every liability, that'll be good, right?
Let's suppose if I have a lot of cash which is put idle, and that is the main reason why my current ratio is 2:1. Is it good to put cash idle?
No, we should use it.
Yes, this is the main reason. Whenever you will be getting 2:1, you will be getting this thing that it's good for the business. You should assume this it's good for the business, but you will write in your answer that if you would have the balance sheet in front of you, so you can see this thing that whether the inventory is higher, whether the cash is there, you could write it down like this, that the cash can be invested somewhere in order to earn interest on that. Okay.
Right.
So
yeah,
ideally it should be 1.5. If it is higher, so your cash is idle. You should invest it somewhere.
Right.
Okay. If it is lower, so what will be the answer? If it is 1,
then it's like good. You're using everything you have. And nothing is idle.
It's illiquid or it's not liquid. You can write it like this.
Okay.
Illiquid or not liquid at all. The business needs to improve its liquidity position. Otherwise, it will be difficult to pay the short-term debts of the business. Okay.
Right.
And the reason or the logic behind supporting this would be that you will be saying this thing because inventory and the accounts receivable in which a lot of amount is tied up. You can see that in the balance sheet, that in the question. So you will be writing this, that in the inventory and the balance sheet, a lot in the inventory and the accounts receivable, a lot of amount has been tied up and it takes time to be converted into cash. Both of these items. So this will be the reason that the liquidity position of the business is in danger. It needs improvement.
Okay.
Okay. Everything clear?
Yeah.
Any questions so far, whatever I have explained to you?
No.
Okay. So now coming back to our questions, 39.1. Prepare the trading section of the income statement for D is 2020. Trading section. Do you know what is trading section?
Is it like the top section, the till gross profit?
Yes, starting from the sales till the gross profit. That is called the trading section, and the lower portion is called profit and loss, where you calculate the profit and loss after the gross profit.
Right.
Trading section, if you see of the sales, you don't have opening inventory. What is opening inventory?
Opening inventory is the 1st January 2020.
Yes, sorry, opening inventory is given. Sorry, I got it wrong. Opening inventory is given, but purchases is missing from this answer. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's do one thing. Let's learn how to convert our markup into margin. That's the last thing of the class before we go for the practice.
Yeah.
So let's learn that, and then you will be able to solve this question easily. And after you get question, you will be given the homework, or maybe in the class, if it is possible, you can solve one question at least. I know I hope you are good at maths, simple maths, not complicated. Obviously, it's accounts. I'll not be teaching you the complicated maths.
I am good at maths.
Okay, that's great. So now we'll be able to learn this, because I was not good at maths, but still I managed to learn this formula, because the formula which was given by the teacher in accounts, that was very much complex. Okay.
Oh.
Simple.
Yeah.
The simple maths, you would have learned this thing, that selling price is equal to cost plus profit.
Plus profit.
You agree with this?
Yeah, I agree.
The percentage of cost, which is profit, is called
markup.
Okay, the percentage of selling price, which is called gross profit, is called
margin.
Okay. Okay, we are done with this. The total should be 100%, and the combinations can be different. It can be 70 plus 30, it can be 60 plus 50, it can be any combination. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's suppose there's a question, you need margin and your markup is 20%. Let's assume this, your markup is 20%. Your selling price, let's suppose, assume that your selling price is there. Your cost is X. Okay.
Yeah.
And your markup is 20% of your X. That is the cost. Markup is always applied on the cost. Okay. So your selling price would be 1.2x.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if your selling price is 1.2x, so it means your selling price is 1.2.
Yeah.
Okay. So your selling price would be 1. Your selling price would be 1. 1 is equal to x plus 0.2, because it should be total of 1.
Yeah.
You agree with this? Because
yes,
you will get 1.2. 1.2 minus 1, you will get 1 in this scenario. So
yeah.
0.2 in this scenario, it will be okay.
Yeah.
So you have 100%, you have x as your cost, you have plus 0.2x, that is 20% of x, you will get this. Okay.
Yeah.
If your 0.2x is your profit, so you will consider this as your what I can say,
The cost price.
Yes, 1.1 is equal to 1.2x, and 1 divided by 1.2 is equal to x. You will get your answer of 1 divided by 1.2. Your answer will be, let's see.
No. It's gonna be. You want me to calculate it?
0.833. 0.8333%. It is your cost. X
Yeah,
was the cost, if you assume that X was the cost. Okay?
Yeah.
X was the cost, and you got this thing in your mind that X was the cost, and you need to calculate the selling price. Okay?
Yeah.
So from 0.833%, so what will be the profit? If your cost is 0.8%, if you get it out from your selling price is 100 and your cost is 0.8333 minus 1, it would be 16.66%, 0.16667%.
Yeah.
Okay, have you got this concept clear?
Yeah, I got it.
Because here we were assuming this thing that this is x, okay, and we got the x value in the end, which was 0.833, which was not the percentage. If we convert it into percentage, so it will be 83.3333%. Okay,
Yeah.
this was your cost. If out of 100 your cost is 83.333%, so your profit will be
Around 16, 17.
66667. Okay,
Yeah.
to get it accurate, you will get the whole value of your calculator multiplied by the sales.
Right.
Okay, 16.66% of your 100% of your selling price. So you converted this into your sales. So this was markup. Now go for margin. If your margin, we will rectify, we will what we can say, we will see that if we got the right answer. Our margin was 16.67%. Let's see if we got the right answer or not. Let's verify that. Your selling price is this, cost plus profit. Your selling price is X and you have cost plus 16.67% of X. X is 1. X minus 16.67% of X is equal to cost. Your cost will be 0.8333. Sorry. Have you verified?
1 minus 16.67%. Isn't it supposed to be 1 minus
let's change this so that it should not be confusing. 0.16667 X. Okay, because it is added over here, so we'll deduct it on the other side.
Got it.
Okay, and I'll change it over here so that there should not be any confusion regarding the percentage sign. So the cost is 0.8333 and it verifies that our answer which was obtained over here is correct.
Yeah.
So this is how you solve. According to me, this is the most easiest method, but it all depends on you. If you want to go for the margin and markup formula, if it is easier for you, you can go for that. If this is easier for you, you can go for this, because now you have two ways. At least it should be remembered by you at the time of examination so that you can solve your answer.
Yeah.
So now shall we go for two questions at least if it is possible in today's class? 39.
Okay, we can try.
We try this. At least one will be solved before the end of the class.
Yeah. I said my answer.
Okay, let me check that.
Yeah.
I guess you have sent me the same file mistakenly.
Did I? I sent a screenshot.
Okay, now I got that. Okay, so it's question number 1. You have done it.
Yeah. I wanted to know how would we use your method in this, because I got confused because there was no profit, and then
How you will use? Can you repeat your question?
yeah, see here I used the formula. I did not use your formula, your method, but like I want to know how we would put your method in this question.
The method which I told you.
Yeah, your method.
Okay, so let me see the question. What was the question? The profit was?
The profit, there was no profit given. They just told that 30% above cost, which would be the
what was the topic of this? Do you remember the exercise number?
yeah, it was 39.1.
Okay, 39.
39. Yeah.
So let me open that because my book was closed. Okay, 39.1.
Okay.
The question is saying that D. Stanchion is a trader who sells all of her goods at 30% above cost. Okay, so 30%
Yeah.
above cost means that it is given markup.
Right.
Okay, so let's come to the whiteboard. 30% is the markup, so we'll see how we can convert this into our margin. If 30% is the markup, so what will be the selling price?
Yeah.
Selling price is equal to cost is X plus 0.3 of X. Okay.
Yeah.
So it is 1.3X. The selling price is 1.3X. Okay. So if your
Yeah.
selling price is 1.3X, so X will be 1 upon 1.3, which will be X. So X will be your cost again.
Yeah.
Let's do that. 1 divided by 1.3.
0.76.
0.769 minus
Yeah.
1.
Mm, 1.
0.307. Is this something like
Yes. It's actually 0.231.
231 and 231? You can see this, that if you round it off,
Yeah.
231. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
no issues at all.
Got it.
Now I'll
Yeah.
explain that how I have done that. So let me write more numbers for this. See, there are two methods. Okay. The two methods are that selling price, you don't know the selling price. Okay, this is something unknown. You got your cost as X, you got your profit that is 30%. 30% you can put it down as 30%, but in this case you have to convert it in your normal numeric. So it's better go for 0.3 of X. X is the cost.
Yeah.
0.3 of the X.
Yeah.
We add both of these, we'll get 1.3x. Your selling price will always remain 1. That means 100. It will always be 100%. So it is equal to 1 in this scenario.
Yeah.
0.3, so it means it is 1. So 1 is your selling price. 1.3x is being multiplied over here. You divide it by 1.3. 1 divided by 1.3. X will be formed. X is the cost. Okay.
Yeah.
Get your cost and you minus your cost from the selling price, you will get the profit. That's it. This is how I got it.
Got it.
Okay.
So this is the gross profit
will directly multiply with the sales. Sorry, what are you saying?
So this number is the gross profit value?
This is the profit.
Like,
This is the margin percentage.
Okay.
This is margin. This is not percentage. These are the numericals. But if you converted it, will be, I think, 23.1% something, 23.07 or something. Okay.
Yeah.
This is margin. If you directly multiply this with the sales, you will get the gross profit.
Okay.
Okay. But there is no hard and fast rule that you need to go for this. You can go for your own formula if you are comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Okay. So you got it. Opening inventory, purchases 168. Okay. Good. Everything is good. Okay. Okay. This is how you solve these ratios questions, and we are not done with the ratios questions because there are a lot of ratios which are to be uncovered in the next classes. Okay. So we'll go with the ratios in the future classes in the next class. And after the ratios, I'll try my level best. If it is possible, we'll include the manufacturing. Otherwise, we'll go with the incomplete records.
Okay.
Okay. So shall we call it off?
Yeah. Is there any homework?